Hi, I'm Missy, and I'm just over 2 months into my midlife gap year. And I will say I've experienced a mixed bag of feelings and emotions and just everything that I'm going through on this journey. Some things have been exactly as I hoped they would, and others haven't gone as planned, whether good, bad, or indifferent. They're just different. I'm going to share the good, the bad, the challenging, and just things I've learned along the way. This journey has certainly turned out to be more nuanced than I expected. First thing I've learned, freedom itself has a learning curve. I know many people told me they thought it would be liberating and expected the same thing myself. And it is liberating, and that's good in a lot of ways. It just also has its own challenges. There are times of freedom for me feels awkward and uncomfortable because I'm used to being very regimented on a schedule and having a standard routine. It feels strange and like I'm doing something wrong when not every minute of my day is planned or organized for me. There are times where I still try and create structure into my days and then remind myself that I don't need to. I've realized I've had to learn or relearn how to do things that don't have a performance appraisal attached to them or some other scoring metric, that I'm doing them for myself. Some days that means picking up a book that I enjoy reading or want to read, not one that I have to read for school or work. Other days it's going for a long walk. Some days that's learning more about this crazy YouTube stuff. I think it's good to push ourselves out of our comfort zone, and some days I just try to do that through my various activities. I still want to grow and continue to push myself beyond what's comfortable for me. Freedom isn't just rest. Sometimes it's just stretching yourself beyond what feels comfortable and when nobody else is telling you what you should be doing. 2, purpose doesn't disappear, it just shifts. My first month I spent in Ohio with my mom. I knew I was going to Ohio to see her. My plan was for 2 weeks. I ended up staying almost a month. And I think that was the perfect place to start my gap year. It still gave me structure, although at a much slower, relaxed pace, just with her appointments, errands, things she wanted to do. We took walks together. We just spent time together. So definitely things moved at a slower pace. My first month wasn't glamorous. It wasn't full of travel and adventure. It was spent with my mom. But she was the purpose and the thing that pushed me to start this midlife gap year. I knew I needed to be there with her, and I was happy to do so. It gave me my purpose. What I didn't expect was how grounding and meaningful the day-to-day would be, even though it was at a much slower pace. Just doing things for her, with her, things such as doctor's appointments, errands, lunches, dinners, walks, and just spending quality time together. Sometimes we'd both sit in the living room couch and read or watch TV together. It wasn't the kind of purpose I was used to, but this was very meaningful and set me off on a good start. This was quieter, gentler, much slower paced. It reminded me that purpose isn't just in career accomplishments. Sometimes it's in choosing what really matters, even though it's not glamorous and doesn't get a lot of attention. It was exactly the right way to start my gap year. Number 3, movement creates its own kind of structure. When I got back home, I had a few things to do. that I needed to take care of after being gone for a month. But I really didn't have a plan set out. So I went on my 2-week-long journey of California. And that movement created another type of schedule for me. Even though I was constantly on the move, it gave my day a different type of rhythm. I had places I want to go, places I wanted to hike. I had to drive, I had to check out, find a new place to stay, check in. And I moved hotels almost every day, never staying any place longer than 2 nights. So I was continually doing this. It reminded me that purpose and structure doesn't always come from productivity. Sometimes it comes from movement and simply just not being afraid to let the day unfold. Number 4, your old identity echoes even after you walk away. This one surprised me the most. I thought the old me would just fall away and disappear. However, my old habits showed up in unexpected ways. Having the need or desire to take charge, to lead people, to lead a group. This happened this last week when I was on jury duty. At the end, after all the testimony, when we had to go and choose a jury foreperson, nobody volunteered, including myself. We sat there for a short bit of time, trying to figure out whether we wanted to meet that day or come back the next day. Initially thinking we would choose a foreperson the next day, but then the conversation switched to, oh, we'll just draw straws or pick a number. So with little pause, I raised my hand and volunteered to be the foreperson. I led it just as I would any other team. Happy to do so, happy to lead, happy to guide, and allowing people to have the floor. I thank them. They were a great team to work with. It was a pleasure. It was an easy decision. We came to a consensus fairly quickly, and all was good. But again, it surprised me that when I'm trying to walk away and not lead, that I raised my hand so quickly to do so. When you step away from your career, your strengths don't leave you. They don't just retire. Sometimes they're hard to put away. At least I found they have been for me. It was comforting to know that I didn't lose who I was, or some of my purpose and some of my meaning. I can still lead people, whether in a work setting or whether in my personal life. 5, your plans will change, and that's not failure. I had a vision of how my gap year might look, and while some of it's been exactly as I had planned, other parts certainly aren't. But that's not failure. That's just living in the moment. I didn't plan to spend the first month in Ohio. I planned to spend 2 weeks. I actually set out to do a 2-week road trip. Certainly didn't plan jury duty. I didn't plan to feel free and unsteady or uncertain at the same time. But what I'm learning is finding this new me isn't linear. It's going to have changes in it. And that's okay. It's not all breakthrough, big moments. Sometimes it's the small, subtle things that you don't anticipate or aren't planning for. It's small adjustments, recalibrations, over and over. As your plans evolve, you evolve. And as you evolve, the things around you evolve. It's constantly changing. I think that's the whole point. We're constantly changing, and the world around us is constantly changing, and we need to change with it. So those are the 5 things I've learned so far on my gap year journey. Why I'm documenting this, I know I've said it before. I'm doing this because when I went to YouTube to find resources on this, I couldn't find many people my age, near my age, doing this. And I want to see if I can create something that's helpful for others in case they're wanting to do this as well. And maybe my documentation of this and the things I'm going through will be helpful. If you're in your 40s, 50s, or beyond, and just reinventing your life, then you're in the right place. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming along and hearing my story. I'd love to hear yours, or I'm here for encouragement too, if you just want to talk about what you're thinking or what you want to do. You are not alone. You're not late. You are right on time. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And until next time.